Alrighty.
So how you feeling?
Yeah, I feel good, man. It's day one. My fourth ever.
When people talk about Marvel and Sony's next moves, a lot of eyes are on Spider-Man Brand New Day. The movie is already shaping up to feel different, mostly because it seems to be taking Spider-Man back to his roots as a street-level hero, instead of throwing him into giant multiverse events or galaxy-sized battles. That's a smart move, because Spider-Man's most relatable stories have always been grounded in the everyday struggles of New York City, and from what we've seen so far, this movie is leaning hard into that approach. But what makes it even more exciting is how it opens the door for Marvel to introduce characters that fit right into that same street-level space. Characters like Ava Ayala, better known as White Tiger. Now, if you've been following the set leaks and the footage Sony has officially dropped, you probably noticed something important: the costume. The new Spider-Man suit looks much more grounded, almost like a modern callback to Tobey Maguire's Spider-Man look. It's not overloaded with nanotech or glowing runes. It's practical, clean, and classic. That says a lot about the direction the film is going, because Marvel has been dialing things back with other heroes too. Just look at the Fantastic Four costumes that were revealed. They're simple and functional, but still manage to make fans happy. It feels like Marvel is finally learning that less can be more, especially with street-level or family-centered teams. And if that's the new trend, Ava Ayala is a perfect fit. Because here's the thing, Marvel has already laid the groundwork for her introduction without anyone realizing it at first. Hector Ayala, the original White Tiger, is confirmed to appear in Daredevil Born Again. He's a classic character tied to New York's gritty underworld, and that show is drawing directly from the Devil's Reign storyline, where Wilson Fisk cracks down on street-level vigilantes. So it's not hard to imagine Hector either being captured or even killed in the process, leaving his legacy to be carried on. And that's where Ava comes in. She's his younger sister in the comics, and her whole arc is about stepping into the role and honoring the family name, even though she's younger and sometimes underestimated. That's a perfect dynamic to bring into Spider-Man Brand New Day, because the movie is already rumored to explore how Peter Parker rebuilds his life after losing so much. Pairing his struggles with Ava's own journey would add layers to both characters. It's not just about them fighting crime, it's about them carrying huge responsibilities in a city that doesn't always appreciate them. And because Ava has roots in the Hispanic community, she brings representation and fresh cultural perspectives into the MCU's street-level stories. Marvel has been talking about wanting to diversify not just their heroes, but the kinds of stories they tell, and Ava is a natural way to do that without it feeling forced. Although some fans might say, well, aren't they already setting up Angela Del Toro as the new White Tiger? It doesn't actually get in the way of Ava's debut. In fact, it makes things richer. In the comics, Angela is connected to Hector too, and sometimes she even clashes with Ava over who should carry the mantle. Bringing both into the MCU sets up interesting drama, because it's not just about punching bad guys, it's about family legacy, loyalty, and deciding what the White Tiger name really stands for. And if you've seen how Marvel shows have been handling family themes, like Ms. Marvel balancing her heritage with her superhero life, it's easy to picture Ava having a similar kind of layered story. So how does this tie back into Spider-Man Brand New Day? Well, if the film is focusing on grounded street-level heroes, Spider-Man teaming up with Ava makes total sense. Imagine a bunch of New York's vigilantes banding together because Fisk is making moves again, or because another villain like Bullseye is causing chaos. It would be a callback to the Defenders era, but refreshed for the new MCU tone. Plus, Tom Holland's Peter Parker desperately needs new friendships now that Ned and MJ are out of the picture, and Ava could be that ally who challenges him while also understanding the weight of a legacy. And let's not forget the actress conversation, because fans online are already dreaming about Jenna Ortega stepping into the role. The buzz around her hasn't slowed down since Wednesday, and casting her as Ava Ayala would not only bring star power, but also someone who can play the mix of intensity and vulnerability that Ava needs. Interestingly enough, Ortega's already had a tiny Marvel role years ago in Iron Man 3 as the Vice President's daughter. It wasn't a big part, but it almost feels poetic that she could return in a way more meaningful role now that she's a household name. With her popularity and her acting chops, she could absolutely elevate Ava into one of the most talked about new heroes in the MCU. Because Ava's story isn't just about fighting villains, it's about her wrestling with the White Tiger amulet itself. In the comics, the amulet gives her superhuman powers, sharp claws, and enhanced agility, but it also has a dark side. It can make her more aggressive, more animal-like, and she constantly has to fight to control it. That duality adds tension that fits perfectly with the grounded style Marvel's leaning into. Instead of being a godlike powerhouse, she's someone trying to balance her human side with powers that threaten to consume her. That kind of inner conflict resonates with audiences in the same way Spider-Man's great power, great responsibility mantra does. And speaking of Spider-Man, Ava has a history with him in other media. In Ultimate Spider-Man the Animated Series, she's part of a S.H.I.E.L.D. team alongside Spidey, Iron Fist, and others. Their banter and team-ups showed how natural her dynamic with Peter could be. Translating that to live action, especially in a film that's supposedly returning Spidey to smaller, grounded adventures, feels like a no-brainer. It also helps that her costume design in the comics is sleek and practical, something that lines up with the more grounded, Tobey-style Spider-Man suit we're seeing in leaked footage. Now, when you zoom out, you can see how Marvel's approach is shifting. They're pulling back from the super cosmic or overly complicated plots that weighed down some of their recent projects. Instead, they're leaning into cleaner storytelling with characters who feel human and relatable. The Fantastic Four's costumes prove it. They're simple but iconic. Spider-Man's suit proves it too. It's classic but practical. So, introducing Ava Ayala with her street-level ties and grounded powers is exactly the kind of move that fits this new philosophy. Although some might think her story is too small compared to multiversal threats, that's exactly why she works. Because not every hero needs to fight Kang or save the entire galaxy. Some of Marvel's best stories happen on the streets of New York, where the stakes are personal, messy, and real. Ava's revenge for Hector, her struggle with the amulet, and her clash with villains like Fisk or Bullseye are the kinds of plots that remind fans why they fell in love with these characters in the first place. And here's something else to keep in mind. Introducing Ava in Spider-Man Brand New Day doesn't just set her up for that movie. It sets her up for the bigger street-level universe Marvel is quietly building. She could slide right into Daredevil Born Again Season 2, or cross paths with the Young Avengers if that team forms. She could even appear in team-ups with characters like Luke Cage or Iron Fist if Marvel decides to bring them back. Ava's flexible enough to move between projects, which makes her a long-term investment for the studio. So when you piece it all together, it's clear why Ava Ayala is such a natural choice for Marvel's next big introduction. She honors the White Tiger legacy, brings in fresh representation, fits the grounded approach of Spider-Man Brand New Day, and has the potential to team up with both street-level icons and future Avengers. And if Marvel really is shifting toward simpler, fan-pleasing designs and more character-driven stories, then Ava is exactly the kind of hero who will thrive in this new era. And that's that for today's video. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you in the next one.